And then
Hello,
I just finished trimming the bush.
hello and welcome to your latest instalment of Fools Rush In STFC podcast and vlog. It's another week gone in pre-season, another week closer to STFC's charge for promotion in the 2022-23 season. We are, it's fast approaching, just a few short weeks away. But that doesn't mean we haven't got things to talk about. There are transfer rumours, there are friendlies starting, and there is a game with what has now already become a very popular punishment for the winners, which is going to be hosted by Mark this evening. But let's start with the hellos, and we will start with the man who's not really paying attention to my intro, Mr. Woody. How are you?
I'm good. I didn't know I wasn't paying attention.
You were on your phone?
Yeah, sorry. I was seeing when
I can see you.
I was seeing when England women are playing. I was pretty sure it was Wednesday. Yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Looking very, very tanned in his screen, the man who pretty much joined McFly on Friday night. How are you, Craig?
Yeah, evening, mate. Yeah, I'm just on standby to go on Love Island. So, yeah, looking forward to it, mate.
Is it who gives you the call first between the ITV2 producers and if there's someone cry off sick from the McFly reunion tour?
I mean that'll be a decision in itself, won't it? But yeah, I'll have to cross that bridge when it comes to it.
I'm pleased to say, joining us on time and not having a nap beforehand and joining us 2 hours later is young Mr. Ned.
Shocking scenes. Good morrow, Mr. Five.
How are you, pal? Well rested?
Yeah,
you stopped since Friday, Ned.
Worst dad ever.
We were, as always, we are delighted to have you with us, no matter how long you're here for. Never one to miss an episode, and someone who is said he's going to be trying out his full back catalogue of STFC shirts. He's gone for the very fetching black and red number tonight. Hello, Ben.
Easy, Fifey. Yeah, I'm very well, thank you. Yourself?
Yeah, I am very well too. And last but certainly not least, as I mentioned, the host of tonight's end of show game. How are you, Mark?
I'm very well, Mr. Fife. How are you?
I see you're still rocking the same backdrop tonight. Let's go straight in. Still confident that the Payne's going to stay?
I hope so. I'm living the dream and keeping everything crossed. If there's one player I want to see in a red and black shirt next season, it's got to be Mr. Payne.
Well, we're in the height of transfer season, I suppose. We're now in July. Contracts have expired, people are signing, rumours are flying all over the shop, and we are no different. I mean, let's start with the big one, if you like. Ben, I know you're particularly, I suppose, excited's the right word, about Bamba.
I think we can be excited about Sol Bamba. Obviously, it's not over the line yet. It's not signed, sealed and done. So when a deal's not done, it's not done. But there is quite a lot to say that this is close.
It's very early to be throwing a cliche into this episode.
I know, but I love a cliche, so I like to get one in early. But yeah, there's lots of credible sources saying this is quite close. So people are actually taking this quite seriously rather than just some 15-year-old making a transfer rumour up in his bedroom. It looks like it's going to be a player coach role. A defensive coach is exactly what we need. And it's something to get excited about. It's that marquee signing that we've been looking for all season. And he's a huge player. He's huge. He's 30 games in the championship last season. It's a massive signing.
Very true. But is the term marquee signing used in the right way there?
I think so. It's a signing that gets everyone sitting up and noticed. Is
he the one that 5,000 people are going to have on the back of their Swindon shirts this year?
I think quite a few people are going to have Bamba on the back of their shirt. I think it's what he's done in his career that he's had, an ex-Premier League player, a great reputation. There's a lovely soundback of Warnock saying that he's better than Van Dijk. Yeah, so it's a big signing, isn't it, for us? For a League Two club, it's huge. So it's I think it's a bit of a marquee, and hopefully it will get the fans excited a little bit, which I think it has.
And how on a scale of 1 to 100, how confident are you it is going to happen?
I think I am 90% sure. As I'm not participating or in the know or a member of working in Swindon or anything, but from what I read and the amount of people that say, yeah, it's happening, I think it's going to happen.
Okay. Speaking of former Premier League footballers, and possibly not quite a 90% sure it's going to happen, but it'd be rude not to bring it up, Ned. Any chances of Jerome Sinclair signing this year?
God, giving me a battering this evening, isn't you? Jesus Christ.
Well, that'll teach you to turn up late for a pod night out, won't it?
Oh, man. Sorry about that. No. That
No,
was the answer.
Okay, let's talk about a player in a Premier League squad who may turn up. And it's the young Leicester midfielder, Sammy Braybrook. There's been more than one link to him. We've already signed one Leicester youngster this summer. Could Leicester be this year's Aston Villa for us and the team we're going to be raiding for young players?
It would be nice, wouldn't it? I mean, he's there's been a lot of talk about him, but I don't know whether it's a case of mistaken identity, because I think there's this other chap, wasn't there, who had the hair, and I don't know whether I don't know how it was started, the Braybrook rumor, but was it a case of they thought it was him because they saw that guy in? I mean, if that's the case, then it's not happening, is it? So,
it's fair to say the feedback I've had from people at this end of the country is if Swindon can get that deal done, despite his young age, it would be one hell of a signing.
Yeah, very possibly. There's a few loan slots left, isn't there? And I think there's.
Don't tell Ben though, because he's getting the ump that we've already used 2 of them up.
I mean, I'd like to see Louis Barry come back for a second term.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he gave his. I don't think he showed us his, pure best last year, and I think another season with the same team would do him a world of good. There's a list of players that I would like Swindon to sign on loan, but
Sure, you have.
We'll go there another day, shall we? But yeah,
give us one name that perhaps we haven't had that you think is a realistic signing you'd be happy with.
Realistic. Rob Street from Crystal Palace. I'd like to see him. Yeah, there is, as I said, there's about 4 or 5.
Okay, now I'm intrigued. Now give us someone off the list who isn't a realistic signing.
Can I go and get the list?
Please.
Maslin is in the other room. Right. I'll be back in a minute.
Go on, go get the list.
But you carry on with someone else for now.
Yeah.
It's like a little Ned report going on here now. It's brilliant.
In the meantime, Craig, there's been various other names sort of bandied about. We saw there was very briefly the rumor of the Villa boy that was on loan at Newport. Is it Aziz? His name got mentioned briefly. There was Ruben Rodriguez of Notts County's name briefly got mentioned as well. Are you expected to see either of these turn up in red and white this year?
I don't know. I mean, you saw, Aziz does look, very promising. Yeah, I mean, we've done really well in the loan market last season, to be fair. So if we could get someone like him, that would be great. I don't know too much about the other player, to be honest with you. But that's the thing. It's just all rumours at the moment, isn't it? So I tend to not get myself too worked up until they sign on the dotted line. The Bamber one is one that I'm quite pleased about if that does go through, because one of the things that I've noticed about the players that we've lost since the end of last season compared to the players we've got coming in, there's not much experience there. I've done a little mini Ned report. I'm glad he's gone, so he won't hear this. But with the players, including those who went back to their parent clubs, so that's 9 players, they had a total of 735 appearances between them. Now, the 5 lads that we've got that have come in, and I'm not including Oscar Massey because he's young and he hasn't played professionally yet, they've only got 162 between them. So we've lost an average of 81 appearances per player from last season. and those coming in are only averaging about 32. Now, I'm not saying we have to cram it in with experience, but I'm hoping that if we get someone like Sol Bamba in, and obviously that's a whole wealth of experience, that'll make a difference, because that will help us get out of this league, along with, you know, all these promising young prospects that we've got coming, that we've signed already. So maybe, you know, one or two, not quite as old as Sol Bamba, but, you know, some that are in there, you know, that have maybe got 100, 200 appearances already under their belts. That will, you know, that'll help complement the squad and give us plenty of options for next season.
It's Swatton.
And Mark, when it comes to players coming in, I know you're keeping it very well publicised how many you believe we need via your socials. I know you and Ben differ in opinion here. Do you think Swindon will go out and spend money if the right player is there?
Yes, I do. I do believe they will do. I think Clem said originally, I think even Rob Angus has alluded to the fact that if the right player became available and it suited the model that we're now following, that we would spend the money, obviously with the idea being to coach, improve, and then reap the rewards from the development of that particular player. No reason to suspect that that isn't the model that we're taking based on what Craig's saying. Yes, we lost a lot of experience from the players that have left, but if we were to replace experience with experience, that would cost us a lot more than it would do to bring players in that maybe at the start of their careers, or where the potential, and I know the word potential is used or maybe overused, with these signings, that, you know, maybe they just need a home, maybe they just need to run a game, 40 or 50 matches to start, you know, to really showcase their talents. And obviously, if we can pique the interest of other clubs out there for one of our players that's on a 2-year deal and they're worth a few quid, then the process that we're aiming for is going to start to come to fruition. I mean, all the what's the word I'm looking for? The pieces of the jigsaw are in place. You look at a player like Harry McCurdy, who prior to joining us was quite nomadic and not necessarily prolific. He's, you know, we brought him in, we play a certain way, he's been coached and developed to play a certain way. And, you know, he scored 20 plus goals last season. There's no reason to think that we couldn't have the same success, particularly with a player like Shade. I think, you know, he's probably one of the standout signings we've made to date, that I think, you know, has the potential of being maybe our next big transfer if he has a really good season.
I always find it fascinating, and this isn't exclusive to Swindon, obviously, but we notice it a lot more because Swindon is the team we're invested in. It always makes me smile how a player is instantly rubbish and not a good enough signing before he's even kicked a ball. And you make a very good point there, Mark. You know, McCurdy was hardly the most prolific guy in the world when he signed. You know, he came in on trial first and had to earn a contract. And now, look, everyone's like, we can't lose him. I just don't understand how people can label brand new signings as not good enough before they've even kicked a ball.
Well, just on that very point, I mean, the negative socials that were out there following the signing of Kieran Harries were absolutely ridiculous. I mean, this is a guy that played 16, 17 matches in a promotion-winning team. I don't know whether or not it was down to the fact that it's a rival that we've signed him from. There's obviously always bad blood with signings that move between the two teams, but let's be logical about this. Take a pragmatic approach. We've signed a centre-back with a left foot that's going to play on the left side of defence. What more could you want to sign? They're like rocking or shit. You don't get many left-footed players that play at the back at this level. Simple as that.
No, it's absolutely true. And Craig, I'm interested in the wider picture. Not strictly Swindon related, but if you look at some of the names we've spoken about in that first 5-10 minutes there, and then you see some of the names not that are actually being signed up, but some of the rumours flying around at other clubs in this level. I mean, the one that stands out to me, and I don't know if you guys have heard this, a dear friend of our show has, and well, he's told me exactly what he thinks of this rumour, but Balotelli to Bradford.
Well, I mean, stranger things have happened. I mean,
Have they?
Well, yeah, Sol Campbell, didn't he? He signed for Notts County,
True.
didn't he, when Ericsson was manager that time? But yeah, I mean, that's not going to happen, is it? I mean, and would you want Balotelli, to be fair? I mean, he's done all right since he left Liverpool, but that's just bordering on sort of dreamland, really, isn't it?
You'd love to be a fly on the wall in the changing room, wouldn't you? Between Mark Hughes and Mario Balotelli. Jesus
Obviously,
Christ.
they've worked together before. I think that's where the
Yeah,
rumours
Man
come
City,
from.
didn't they? Yeah.
I think that Balotelli wouldn't know where Bradford is or what league Bradford are in. So if he would turn up and then he turns up to Barrow away, you'd be like, what?
Tell him to ask Harry McCurdy. McCurdy knows where it is.
It's like Faustino Asprilla. Do you remember when he signed for, was it Darlington years ago? And then he turned up for the showing and then found out where they are and what league they were, and he just
That's right. Yeah, Edgar Davids at Barnet as well.
Edgar
I
Davids
don't think anyone would have seen that. So
there you go. Balotelli to Bradford's a dead-on thing. Then I'm off to the bookies.
Obviously, nobody here professes to be one of these in the know accounts, at least not publicly anyway. We merely just like to discuss stories that we hear and transfer rumours. Ned, you're back with your list. Give us a shock name. So, someone on the. Have you got anyone on the Balotelli level? Completely unrealistic.
I've got a couple of unrealistic ones, but certainly not at the Balotelli level. But just before we go any further, what Mark was saying about the turning, getting some youngster in with experience. I put on the chat yesterday, I thought Timmy Abrahams would be a real good, typical sort of player that we could bring in who's had some experience. And I reckon we could easily turn him into £1 million striker because he's got something about him. But anyway, the two that I put down for unrealistic, but I would love to see him, would be Tyler Morton and Charlie McNeil.
Okay.
So good. That would be so good. But I can't imagine them going any less than the Championship, to be fair. Probably League One, maybe. But yeah.
Certainly not League Two.
No. But Rob Street, Lewis Warrington, Cade Gordon, and I also put Elliot Anderson because I thought he was decent at Bristol Rovers. I thought he would.
Yeah, he was a good player. I think they want him back.
I would if we could get him to come here instead. That would be rather nice. Oh, you best mates for Keane Harris. So
horrible.
The only thing that would worry me about that is, do you start borderline getting cliques involved if you've got everyone and their best mate playing for the club?
Yeah. If it meant that we're going to go up.
Yes, it worked so well for us before having a clicky squad, didn't it? Let's move on and have a look at some other targets then via the wonderful nature of pre-season friendlies and the fact that you can have trialist assist, trialist goal, etc. Everyone loves it when trialist scores. Obviously, Melksham, Woody, you were there. And it's interesting, and I'm fascinated to hear your views here, because we obviously got the reaction from a few of the guys on WhatsApp on exactly which players seemed to have something about them and which certainly did not. And that didn't necessarily match the general thought process of the Twitter fan base. So let us know your thoughts on some of the trialists.
Yeah, I think it was quite a mixed bag, to be fair, in terms of kind of good versus kind of average, and then maybe just wouldn't bother with at all. I guess from an aspect as well is whether we're looking at players that are good or whether we're looking at players that are actually going to fit what we're going to do, whether we actually need that type of player. I managed to get, and I think I put it in the chat, and I think it's quite widely communicated now that the list, apart from one player, but I couldn't remember who it was, of who the trialists were. And there were a couple, and it was quite funny because the one who looked like that everybody thought was Bray Braybrook or whatever his name was, then up close looked absolutely fuck all like him. In
It's
fact,
the lad from Bolton, wasn't it? Was it Bolton?
Ronan Darcy. He looked about 20 years older than Braybrook, but and he was the one that probably brought the most kind of split fan base, because I thought, and Joe, because I was watching it with Joe and one of my mates.
You appeared in the official Swindon Town photo.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, even though like Kieran cropped me out of it originally when he spotted it. Because I thought he wasn't really that good, that Darcy. I don't think, especially if we keep Payne, I don't think we need a player like Ronan Darcy. I think, we've got enough cover for Payne if Payne's injured. But there were a couple that impressed me. I did write some of them down. I did like the guy who's up front who scored our first goal, Ryan Cassidy. I liked him. He was a bit of a workhorse, quite a well-built guy as well. Probably needs a little bit more match practice to say otherwise. I was really impressed with the tall guy in the middle that looked like Minton. He was Luke Dreyer. I was really impressed with him. I would have signed him there and then myself. Like, I know you're only playing Melksham, but what you got to remember is that this is a team that have only been training together for about 4 days, and they've been lumbered together. They've not been given any tactical information, so you are effectively looking at what their technical ability is. He's a big guy. He was basically everything I want Gladwin to be, but is not. That was probably how I would sum it up. As much as I think that Gladwin will have a different season this year, I do think that this Luke Dreyer guy, he could be a backup for Reed. He could also work with Reed as well if we're looking at playing a little bit more 3-5-2 formation. And there was a young guy.
Just interesting on that one. It's worth pointing out that Dreyer's come through the Crystal Palace Academy and was released at the end of last season as well.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. If he's come through, and like you say, he was released, he's had that kind of exposure to the hard environment, if you like, because he must. I don't know how old he is, but he can't be
23.
I was going to say he won't be a youngster, so he'll have. Although he won't have the massive amount of games that we might be looking for, I genuinely think I would have been quite happy there if they had announced him after the game, because you just saw something. It was just something you saw something about him. And then there was another young lad, Jacob Wakelin, I think his name was. He was good. He looked like he will pester anybody. He looked like hard work for the opposition. The others probably wouldn't bother. Dominic Raven was okay at best. I probably want to see him in another game.
Opie
Edwards.
Yeah.
Opie Edwards. And it's always difficult when you think of defenders because you think we conceded 2 goals. Poor old Mo Dabre had no chance for Sol Price's goal, really. And there was one other guy. There was one other guy up front who I thought was bloody useless, but some people liked him. Osa Davey, I think his name was. He was fancy flicks. He wasn't, for me, he wouldn't improve our squad, in my opinion. I know we need a striker, but he wouldn't, I put Harry Parsons on over him any day.
Just going back briefly to Jacob Wakeling, he's another one that's come out of Leicester's academy.
Yeah, no, it looks like that might be what we're looking for, because dare I say it, and that's going to be the cheaper option when we want good players. The best players that we're going to get for a decent price are going to be those that have come through an academy, a good level academy, a category A academy. So they'll be decent. Technically, they will be very, very good players, but they might have that little bit of, I guess, muscle mass that you wouldn't get in like a loan player, like your Louis Barry, like your even Kessa Hayden to a certain extent. Like they'll have a little bit more like muscle mass and nous about them. But in general, I thought the game itself was quite good and gave it a good opportunity to show things like that, and that's what they're for. I'm still not sure about Sol Bryn, mind, but I'm not going to judge him fully on his first game.
No, because we all know that even the very best goalkeepers in the world can have an absolute howler on their debut. I hope Walcott's enjoying his time at Charlton. It's all that needs to be said there. It's fascinating hearing your review of it, Woody, and it'll certainly be interesting to see what happens moving forward. Any new trialists that come in for upcoming friendly games as well. Just
by the way,
briefly-
on Mo Dabry, I know
Yep.
we're going to talk about the Legends game in a minute. I spent 80 minutes stood next to Mo Dabry the Legends game, didn't even notice it was him. How bad is that? He literally looks like a 15-year-old schoolboy, bless him. It was so funny. I was stood next to him because one of the guy I was stood with who runs Swindon Town Women's, like, he's one of the committee members. He's his like housing, I can't remember what they're called. You know, when they keep them. He was with him the whole game, but it wasn't until he introduced Mo to Matty Taylor that I was like, bitch, that's Mo Dabry. The poor guy is just getting completely ignored by all these Swindon fans, young Swindon fans getting autographs off parking and all of that kind of stuff. And Mo Dabry just stood there. I did feel for him, bless him. He's tiny. He is so small.
Well, we do want to talk about the Legends game, and we'll do in just a minute. But I just want to ask, because a couple of times the names have been mentioned. We took a poll last week. Let's see how the feeling changes this week. So, Mark, I'll start with you. Technically, it's a two-word answer. Payne, Reed, staying, going.
Staying both.
Okay. Ben?
Stay.
Ned?
Yeah, I'm feeling quite positive. Stay.
There's always one that can't stick to the two-word rule, isn't there? Craig?
Well, I'm going to be devil's advocate here, so I'm going to say, Payne go, Reed stay.
Okay, you're still in the Payne's going camp. Woody?
Well, it's just been announced that Payne has left. So have a quick look on your Twitter.
No, it hasn't. No, it hasn't.
Oh, the
Penis.
panic in Ned's face.
I tell you what, when Woody speaks now, it's like the boy who cried wolf. You don't believe any shit comes out of his mouth now.
It's also worth noting that just to the right-hand side of this record, I do have the Fools Rush In Twitter feed going, so that I can keep up to date with anything that happens.
Not refreshing.
And Swindon Town haven't done anything while we've been recording.
I think stay. I think Jack Payne is tied between two clubs, I reckon.
Okay.
Swindon and one other, and he's bartering. But yeah.
Just before we go on to the Legends game, there was one sort of comment come in on Twitter, and I'm interested in your thoughts on it. So it's from Luke, regular contributor Luke, who said, after some negativity around early signings, it was nice to hear so many positive comments about our trialists on Saturday. Also, good fans saying it was enjoyable to watch style-wise, which I'd be interested to know, particularly from you, Woody, the style of play. Was it a decent watch? Only one match, but promising if Lindsay can impose his game on the new players. And then he goes on to say, which I'm sure Ben will agree with, Bamba could be a game changer. So let's start with the style of play, Woody. Do you agree with the statement there?
Yeah, like I said earlier, it was a bit difficult to say, because there was no tactical stuff put in really. But they did. You could tell it was like a go out there and try and win the game, show us your best. And like I say, we played, with all due respect to Melksham in the Southern League, played some good football at times, but then so did Melksham. To be fair, that was their third game this week, for 2 games in 2 days. After getting a pacing from Bristol Rovers, was it 24 hours earlier? But no, yeah, it was good. You could see there's an attacking intent in the squad. That's what we want to see.
Lovely. Another friend of the show, Claire, sent in a comment saying, lovely to see a few of the Fools Rush In panellists at the charity game yesterday. Hopefully we'll catch up with a few of the others over the season. Fingers crossed it's a good year for us STFC fans, and come on you Reds. So I know there was a couple of you down at the charity game. Craig, I believe you were there as well. What did you take from it? Obviously, it's a bit of a laugh. It's all for a good cause. You got to see some legends. I believe Swindon started. Was it someone said they were playing 4-2-4 from kickoff?
Well, they had 4 strikers on the pitch, but I think Simon Cox was playing in the midfield too with Doughty. But yeah, it was great. Really enjoyed it. My missus went and my kids did, and they loved it as well. My youngest, she's really into football at the moment, and
lovely video of her that you shared with the group.
Yeah, she's like really proper. She was like, at one point, she's like, "Oh, come on," like this. And she's only 4 years old. And I'm like, "You've got a lifetime of disappointment and misery coming your way." I'm telling you. But no, seriously, it was good. I mean, they got a good setup at Supermarine, haven't they? And it was really good there. It was a nice sort of jovial atmosphere. Paul Hunt scored as well, and like I said, he probably doubled his career tally for Swindon by scoring that. Bless him.
Get Sean Close on there, you might have got one.
Yeah, and yeah. So, and I managed to get my photo with Sam Parkin. He's one of my heroes, and that was great. And obviously, my youngest, she had a photo with Charlie Austin. He's obviously a Swindon Town legend, and I wish Charlie Austin best of luck in his new, in moving over to Australia as well. And he was really good, considering I thought he'd left the stadium, but he did stay in the clubhouse, and people were coming up to him, and he was so he was happy signing and having photos and stuff like that. And obviously he was quite a popular figure there, so fair play to him for doing that. But yeah, it was a really good day, and like I said, I got to meet one of our fans, Claire. it was like I didn't know who she was at first, and she said, "It's Craig, isn't it?" And my missus is looking at me saying, "Who's that?" And I don't know who I'm thinking, am I in trouble here or something? And she said, you're Craig from Fools Rush In. And I'm like, "Oh yeah." And then Vicky realised, and she couldn't believe it. She said, "I can't believe you've got a fan," But yeah, no, it was lovely to meet Claire, and I had a photo with her as well, and everything. So yeah, it was a really good day. Really enjoyed it, and the kids enjoyed it as well. So it was good.
Claire must have by now ticked off about 50% of her Fools Rush In Panini sticker board now, with the amount of selfies she's had with panelists.
Who's Claire not met yet then?
Well, not me, not Ned, not Mark. She definitely met Rich. Definitely met Craig, Woody, yourself, Ben.
Yeah, she's met herself.
Not Warren.
Technically though,
Warren.
Wouldn't you be the
Warren's probably changed her tyres, though.
Yeah, she'll know Warren because everyone in Swindon knows Warren.
Yeah, because he's massive.
Because Warren's massive everywhere he goes. But no, I'm glad that everyone had a great day. Woody, it's worth. People will always, even in these charity games, they will always pass judgment and pass comment. So it was nice to see that that Matty Taylor was praised with still having a lot about him, particularly fitness-wise, and the amount of different people I saw saying, "Doughty's still got a bit. I wish we could sign him again."
Yeah.
Oh my days, what a sexy human being of a footballer. Oh, Doughty.
Are you only saying that because Ned had his picture with Lee Peacock the other day?
Oh no, Lee's gone now. Michael Doughty, he should be the Wiltshire Perlo after me. Yeah, it was a nice bit of nostalgia. It was great. I stood over by the dugouts as well, so it was quite funny from there as well. Matty Taylor was on great form. He was actually hilarious all the way through it, especially when Jonah, the kick guy, came on, and Matty Taylor was really like proper trying to coach him as well. It was just hilarious. It was, and then Ivor Graham turning up late as well. I was having it. It was just nice to see. I know, celebrity's a loose word for this situation, but it was just nice to, they were there having a chat with fans, and I was stood over to the dugout. Had a chance to speak to Andy Nichols, and Sam Parkin, obviously one of my heroes as well. And when Ivor Graham come up, he's just on top form, and he turns up late and he's given all of these excuses, which he had a legit excuse. It was his sister's 30th birthday or something. So, and then he scored. He said and then he was talking about how he scored at the county ground, how he wanted to score at the county ground, and how not scoring at Supermarine would have the same effect, but his goal was disallowed anyway.
Did you ask him on the pod?
No, I should have, shouldn't I? I should have.
It's worth saying, anyone mentioned in this little segment, whether it's Matty Taylor, Sam Parkin, Ivor Graham, or anyone else who featured, you're more than welcome to appear on.
I was gonna ask Sam Parkin, but I'm not ashamed to admit this, but I was a bit starstruck when I was talking to him. I was just my brain went to my feet. Honestly, I was just like,
I was quite, and that's why I didn't ask him for a photo. I thought, do I want to be like a grown adult asking for a photo with Sam Parkin? I was sat there quite happily having a chat with him, but asking him for a photo, nah. And obviously it was good. You know, Paul Bowden was a good laugh as well, and it was just a lovely bit of nostalgia, really. I think more than anything. And to be fair, I mean, Charlie Austin wasn't supposed to play, so it was quite good that he did put his boots on. And like we said, we've already spoken about how magical, beautiful Doughty. But you know, he's even if he's playing against Supermarine, you know, who probably had less retired players, you know, but it was a joy. It was a good watch. It was a really enjoyable game. But Cox, Charlie Austin, Michael Doughty as kind of your attacking.
Yeah.
And Paul Hunt and Parkin, sorry, yeah, and Paul Hunt, and but yeah, no, it was really good. And what is his face? Glenn Morfuni, or whatever he calls himself. He came on at the end as well for Supermarine. And fell over. I don't know if you saw that, Craig, when he fell over, he got through on goal. Absolutely stacked it. Yeah. But yeah, no, sorry. Anyway, I digress. But it was really good. It was good.
While the feel-good factor is in full flow, Woody, I'll stick with you because it's worth noting there's something of a big preseason friendly for the women's team coming up.
Yeah, so as part of kind of our efforts to try and get more games at Foundation Parks, that's the county ground, we were supposed to be playing Plymouth this weekend. But Plymouth pulled out for some unknown reason, and Tom, the new director of football, used his contacts, and we've managed to, ironically, with obviously Twine going there, but just get Burnley, who are the tier above Swindon. You know, but fair play to them coming down. It's probably a good 3 hours down from there to come play us at Foundation Park, and I think what we want to really try and do is promote it as much as possible, because the more that Foundation Park see it's worthwhile, the more games we might get there, and you know, and all of that kind of stuff. It's free entry, I believe. There might be a couple of donation buckets just to help with prices of referees or whatever. Yep. But Sunday 2:00, you know, I think it should be a good game, and a good chance for James Lally to hopefully show some of his new faces, maybe.
We've just literally, while you've been saying that, retweeted all the details out on our socials as well for that game.
Thank you. Yeah, should be good, and it just leads up to all that excitement, doesn't it? That the season is closer. Every pre-season game that you tick off. I mean, the ladies' first team will start their season. I think it's the 2nd or 3rd week in August. So it's just the same as with the men's, isn't it? It's that excitement of everything getting that little bit closer, and I think it doesn't feel like the last few pre-seasons. I know it's a week earlier, but this one's going, isn't it? We're picking up some pace now, and maybe that's why it's led to a bit of nervousness in the fan base with signings. But anybody.
That's right, Karen.
As I say, anybody, Sunday afternoon, 2:00, Foundation Park, all on our doorsteps. Those who live in Swindon, anyway. It'd be good to. I'm not going to be there, fortunately, because I'm working, but it'd be good to see as many people there as possible.
But you are certainly right. We're just a few short weeks away now from the men's team season starting, and of course we will have as much coverage as possible of the women's teams and the girls' teams throughout the season, courtesy of Mr. Wood. And when he forgets what he's doing and the other one can bother to turn up, Rich will be there to cover. You mentioned, actually, and we didn't get a chance to talk about it last week, Woody. So, Mark, I'll bring you in to start with, and then any of the others can jump in. Obviously, the first thing that we have to say is we all obviously wish Twine the very best of success at Burnley. but the follow on from that is obviously there is, we were mentioning earlier about would Swindon spend some money. There is some cash coming to us from that deal as well.
Yeah, I think from what Sandro Di Michele was saying, and whatever the rumoured amount is, anywhere between 700 and 800,000 pounds, I think it's structured that we receive the payments on the drip. So I think we get a set amount for each year of his deal. So I think it's probably scheduled over 4 years. Now, from a cash flow point of view, that's incredibly good. But I wouldn't necessarily expect us to go out and say, well, we've got £200,000 in the bank, let's go and spend it on a player. Realistically, the club still has debt to service and many other facilities to upgrade and other services that we need to obviously spend some cash on, as well as the playing side. Now, I think it's well documented that our budget is already 40% higher than what it was last year. It was rumoured to be about the 18th largest budget in the league last season, at something like 1.2 million. So, quick rule of thumb, if that's gone up 40%, it's going to be another, say, £500,000 on top of that. That should still be enough to give us a competitive team. So I wouldn't necessarily say that we'll be going out and spending that money on a given player. I think it's more along the lines of, if the right player comes up, they want to come to Swindon and it involves a transfer fee, a decision will be made at board level as to whether they want to spend the cash to do it. But I think it's going to take something quite special for that to happen.
And obviously, Ned, I'll come to you to just obviously wish Twine well with his move.
Yeah, absolutely. He, sorry, I'm just looking at the chat. He was the hardest person, hardest working person in training, wasn't he? The amount of effort he put in for practicing all of his free kicks and everything else. He certainly deserves to reach the very top. And and yeah, so yeah, I there's no ill feeling towards him in any capacity. Just want him to go on and do well, and who knows where his career is going to take him in the future. I think he's an absolutely incredible player, despite what Christian says. I think he's an absolute, there's no ceiling to where he can go, is there? Let's be honest.
I'm guessing you echo those sentiments, Ben?
Absolutely. I think the sky's the limit with the fella. He's gone on leaps and bounds, and there's no reason why he can't be a Premier League player this time next season or next year.
Craig?
Yeah, pretty much agree with what everyone else is saying. It doesn't surprise me that he's moved up to the Championship, and what a club to move up to as well. Burnley have got to be one of the favourites to go back up. So, like Ben was saying, there's every chance he's going to be playing in the Premiership next season. So yeah, it's I'm pleased as punch for him, and it just goes to show, if you give somebody a chance and a run of games, what they can do. So yeah, hopefully, Scott Twine will be the first of many that will come through our system, and that get the chance and can move on to brighter and better things, which can only be good for us as a club, because we'll profit from that.
And Craig, just very briefly, I appreciate we are a Swindon Town podcast, but it's always nice to get generic footballing opinion. Thoughts on, obviously, Company's gone in at Burnley. You think he's personally identified Twine as the man to fire them into the Premier League?
I wouldn't have thought so. I mean, the chances are that Company's probably heard of him, because, he was getting rave reviews when he was at Swindon. He was like the top player in Europe, wasn't he, for assists and goals at one point. So yeah, but I don't think he's a Company signing. It would have been, Burnley have got a system in place not too dissimilar to ours, where I'm sure they've got a director of football and a scouting system there who would have identified him early on before Company came in. And I think if Company's come in and he's got a player like Scott Twine, he'll probably be delighted. I would, if I was them.
And sorry, I apologise. I can't remember whether it's Ben or Ned used the phrase "there's no ceiling to what he can achieve." Anyone seeing Twine in an international shirt?
Well, they might be pushing it. I think they might be pushing it a little bit. I think he's got a little bit more to give. You never know. There are some late developers out there. Things
can change so quickly in football. Like people who are at the top and have deteriorated, like Dele Alli. Look at him, look at his fall from grace. So it can happen in the other direction.
Only on Fools Rush In could you compare Scott Twine to Dele Alli.
I'm not comparing him to him directly, but I'm just saying that the change in fortunes can happen so quickly, both ways. So I'd be very surprised if he did get a caller, if but you never know. Stranger things.
Year or two in the Premier League, you never know. Mark?
Jamie Vardy went from Fleetwood non-league to England caps and winning the Prem, so you never know.
Mark?
I think the romantic in me says I'd love to see Twiney wearing an international shirt one day. But again, if he's moved as rapidly as he has from Swindon to Milton Keynes to Burnley, what's to say the next season, the season after this, that he isn't in the Premier League, bags 4 or 5 goals in the first couple of months of the season, an international call-up could happen. It does happen. Like you say, Jamie Vardy's a very good point. Although he was probably a bit older than Twine when he made his England bow. So
Gareth Bowen.
Yeah, there's another one. Absolutely. I think he's got the ability. He's definitely got the ability to be able to do it. Whether or not he's going to realise that ambition with the quality that England have in the middle of the pitch, who knows? But would never rule it out.
We have got a game to conclude, but before we do, there is just one other thing it's worth discussing. And again, similar to what I was just saying about asking you guys about Burnley, we are a Swindon Town podcast, but we have opinions and on most things football related. And at the end of the day, we are football fans. And there was more bad news coming out of Rochdale. Craig, I know that you in particular wanted to just give it a few minutes just to highlight the situation that they find themselves in at the moment.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Rochdale were the subject of a hostile takeover about a year ago, and one of the people involved in that was Mr. Curran Senior. So we know what type of people are behind that sort of thing. At the time, because of Rochdale's unique ownership, they pride themselves that they've never had a majority owner. They've always been primarily supporter-owned since their foundation in the early sort of 1900s. And they've never had a majority owner since. But this aggressive takeover where this company were buying shares for individually off of supporters so that they could become the majority owners, the trust managed to find a way of diluting the shares so that this hostile takeover wouldn't happen. But now this company involved in the hostile takeover are suing 13 people who are members of the Rochdale Trust and taking them to court. Now the club can't help fund the legal costs, and the trust can't fund it themselves. The individuals involved are having to fund their own legal costs, which could be up to around £130,000. This is a case of people with money and power bullying little people because they had the solidarity to come together and stop a hostile takeover and the potential of what that could have meant for their club. We were in a similar situation. We know how complicated ownership can be. And, we were in dire straits a year ago. So this could just as well be us. The 13 people who are being sued by this company are ordinary fans, just like you and me and people who are on our own trust. So they have started a crowd-funded page. And I really would urge, if you can afford it, to donate towards their legal costs so that they can stop these bullies, and they are bullies, from suing them. There is more to it than that, but I'm trying to keep it as brief as possible. There'll be a link. Fifey's going to put a link on our description where they explain why they need this money and why the other group are suing them. But yeah, it's really important, and because it could happen to any club, and it's just not fair and it's not right. Sorry, I hope that was brief enough, but yeah, that was my sort of rounded take on it.
No, and I think you articulated it very well, and it is important. As I say, we have our own clubs, we have our own our own things that we're concentrating on, but at the end of the day, we're all football fans, and we don't want to see these clubs falling into the hands of, as you quite rightly call them, bullies. So it is important that those that are standing up against it are supported where possible. Let's move on to tonight's game then, and Mark, over to you. I think I'm the only one here who knows, other than yourself, obviously, what you've got planned.
Yeah.
So it's time to explain to the group how we will be competing this evening.
Okay, so it's a firm favourite. It's higher or lower, which seems to be a running theme with games in recent weeks. And I'm going to give you the name of an opponent that Swindon have played many times over the years, and what the example will be. In fact, let me give you the example. So the example is Plymouth Argyle. Our success rate against that team is 46%. Okay, so we played them 111
success
times.
Is wins.
Wins, yes. We've played them 111 times in all competitions, and we've secured 40 wins, which gives us a success rate of 46%. Okay, so I'll give you another team, and your objective then is to decide whether our success rate in terms of the win ratio was higher or lower. Very, very simple.
Now, Woody's signal dropped briefly, so he's missed the explanation, but basically it's higher or lower on opposition that we've played many times, and it's win percentages, Woody, okay?
Okay. Yep.
Okay,
thanks.
so the example...
Sorry, I didn't, my signal didn't drop. I accidentally tapped my ear and it hung up. Fucking technology.
So I will say all of these statistics came from our very good friends at swindon-town.co.uk.
Great website.
It is a fantastic website, and I don't know of many other fan available resources that are out there that are as comprehensive. So I will give the example again in case you missed it, Woody. So the starter is Plymouth Argyle. We played them 111 times, and we've won 40 times against them in all competitions, which gives us a success rate of 46%. So the first name that's going to come out of the hat.
Just before we do, where do people rate that? I think although 46% is less than half in a win, draw, lose ratio, I don't think 46% is that bad against any team.
I think that's pretty good against Plymouth. Obviously, they're a smaller club than us, so we're going to make more often.
Sorry, Mark, carry on.
No, that's fine.
Oh, we know what's going to happen now, don't we?
Well,
Well,
I've tried to keep the teams in these rounds fairly relevant, so there'll be some interesting stats in there, but also the team that we have the best success rate against and the worst success rate are answers within the selection.
Okay,
so I'll go again. So Plymouth Argyle was 46%. The first team to compare them to are Bristol City. Are we more successful against Bristol City or less successful against Bristol City? And I'm going to come to Fikey first of all.
To clarify, because we have got Ben playing, are we playing shithouse rules or normal rules? Are we working to X amount of decimal places?
Well, I've got round numbers, but you can shithouse and go point X if you want to, 100%.
Okay, so Plymouth was 46, Bristol City, I'm going to say lower.
Okay.
And I'm going to say 38.
Okay, 38%. Ben.
I'm going to go lower, and I'm going to say 37.
Woody.
No, 41.
Okay, Craig.
Lower, 42.
Nice to see we're getting involved early, lads. All going within 1% of each other.
And last but by no means least, Mr. Ned.
Right, I've got a newfound hatred for people from Plymouth and supporters of Plymouth because my daughter was called a cunt by a Plymouth fan. So, fucking hate them. Sorry. Anyway, I will go for lower, 32%.
32%. Okay, so in fact, that's a full house of you going lower than Plymouth Argyle's success rate of 46%. So I will say, first of all, that you are all correct to go lower. So that's
Not
1
cheering
point
that.
each. Okay. And in the very first round, I would like to say that somebody has got the answer bang on the money.
No.
It's
At
Ned, isn't it?
42%, Craig has taken the bonus point.
Oh, what a mate.
Well, Craigie.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's actually quite good, that. It's actually quite good, 42% against the shitheads. So
Now that
Yeah,
Craig is
125
already
games.
now that Craig is already winning, is it worth announcing if you're doing a punishment ending again that Craig made up in the last?
I hope so.
Defend the indefensible. I have a little list of options depending on on who is to be selected. 100%.
I do hope Craig wins.
100%. And me. Okay.
I've got an idea what it's going to be.
Bristol City at 42%. The next team, Exeter City, higher or lower? And I will start with the winner of the last round, Craig.
I will go higher, and I'll say 49%.
Ben?
43 higher.
Mr. Five.
I'm going to go lower and go 35.
Okay. Ned.
I got to be honest, I didn't even hear the team. Sorry, who was it?
Exeter.
Oh, Exeter. Oh, God, not good against them, are we? Today? Lower 39.
Okay. And Woody.
Lower 31. I don't reckon we're very good at them against them at all.
Okay, so Fifey, Ned, and Woody all selected lower than Bristol City's 42%, and you are all incorrect. We do have a higher success rate. So that means there's a point for Ben and a point for Craig. And the actual answer is 56%.
Oh,
The bonus point again
Really?
is going to Craig.
Wow.
Yeah, from the 123 matches, we've won 51 times.
Shit, not in recent times.
I thought we were shit.
Swindon are massive everywhere we go.
Now this one would be a nice favourite to choose. So Exeter's 56%. What's our success rate against Port Vale? Higher or lower? Craig.
I'm going to go lower, 55%.
Oh,
Ben.
Higher, because they're Tim Pot, 58.
Woody.
I was going to go higher because they're Tim Pot. 59%.
Ah, you bastard!
Mr. Five.
see, the problem is anything in the 50s is very high for what it is.
Yeah, but it's Port Vale.
Yeah,
But
Port Vale.
I'm going to go higher and go 64.
Oh!
Are you okay, Ned?
We ain't
Give them the
Vale.
points. Give them the points.
And Ned, where are you sitting here?
I think it's higher because they're scumbags. I think we're going to be 59%. 59.
9%. Okay, so
Fucking love to be right here, by the way.
Exeter City were 56%, and Fifey, Ben, Ned, and Woody have all elected to go higher. You are all incorrect.
What? What? We've got this massive one against them.
Craig went lower
Craig's in trouble here.
and also picked the closest answer. The answer was 51%. So from 91 matches, 37 victories for the town.
Not so
Yeah,
Tim
another
Pot now,
bonus
are
point.
they?
No, it's still Timpol. We still won more games than we've lost or drawn. So,
We're just shit against Tin Pot.
That's it.
So
Off the
moving
bail,
on.
move on.
Moving on. The next club are Reading. Is our success rate against Reading higher or lower than 51%? 5 feet.
Lower, 41.
So we're going to go 41. Okay, Ben.
Lower, 37.
Okay. Craig.
Lower 40.
Oh, you bastard.
Ned.
Lower. I can't remember us beating Reading ever. I got
Last game of
zero.
the
No.
won.
36.
36%. And Mr. Wood.
lower, 39%.
39%, was that, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So you've all gone lower than Port Vale's 51%, and you were all correct to go lower.
Hey.
Okay, the correct answer is 49%. So 152 matches and 56 wins. Mr. Fife has got himself the bonus point.
Oh,
You
no,
were
wait,
more
no,
massive
no,
than
that's
I
not
thought.
good.
I know.
Yeah.
That's not good at all, because no one else is getting bonus points than Craig. We're
Right.
not doing this fucker again.
quite possible. Right, so from Reading at 49%, our newfound transfer friends, Charlton Athletic. And I will start with Ben. Higher or lower than Reading's 49%?
Lower, 27.
Ooh, blimey.
Dear.
I think they've always been a division or two higher than us. Some of them have always probably been an underdog.
Ned.
Every underdog has his day, Ben.
So I said 27%.
Lower 47.
47. Woody.
46.
Lower. Craig.
I'm going to go higher 52.
And last but no means least, Mr. Fife.
I was tempted to go higher as well, Craig. So I'll go, I won't be a complete shit house. I'll go 54.
Should have gone higher at 54%. Okay, so Reading were 49%. And Fifey and Craig have elected to go higher. And on this occasion, you are both incorrect to have done so. The answer is lower, significantly lower.
Ooh.
Our,
well
success
done,
rate, our success rate against Charlton is only 39% from 64 matches. We've only ever beaten them 15 occasions. So I'm going to make that, the closest to that is actually Woody. Woody gets the bonus point.
Well done, Woody.
Yeah.
Well, mate. Shithead.
I wasn't even listening. I didn't actually hear who it was. I completely zoned out when he said who it was.
So I'll come to you first, then, Woody, to keep you awake. So from Charlton's 39%, we moved to Shrewsbury Town.
Ugh.
Oh, we got to be high on that, I think. I don't remember seeing us lose to them, really, apart from once.
Yeah, but you've only seen us play twice.
Well, I've been up there to watch us play there a few times. So I'm going to go high, 61%.
61%, okay. 5 feet.
Higher, 59%.
Okay, Ben.
Higher, 48.
Craig.
Higher 51, sorry.
51%. And Ned.
Higher. Let's go.
Higher.
Hiya.
54%.
54%. Okay.
All
so
very
five
close
of you-
predictions, that.
All 5 of you have gone higher than the 39% success rate against
All wrong
Charlton.
to do so.
And you were all correct to do so. Okay. Our
Number one.
success rate against Shrewsbury Town is 60%.
60.
From 64
Massive.
matches, we've beaten
Massive.
them on 30 occasions. Now, there's bonus points to both 5 feet
I was
and
going to say,
Woody.
it's in between me and Woody, isn't it?
Yeah, you both got
I
the
think I
bonus
should
point.
get
It was
it
close.
personally.
Well, technically, you over-egged it. So if I was going to pull rank, I would say that FIFA would get it for being the closest for not having over-egged it. But I'm going to give you both the bonus points.
I'm
you're so
happy
kind.
I'm happy as the host to share the point.
So
Now,
it should be half each then.
Yeah.
half each. Share the bonus point. Okay, let's do 1.5.
Give them 5 points each. It's
Being
fine.
shithoused by the quiz.
Yeah, I would give him 10
100
points.
Ned just doesn't want to have to defend anything indefensible.
To be honest, since that's been a thing, I've been shit. I'm never going to have to defend anything.
Okay, so from Shrewsbury Town, 60%. We move to our friends down the M4, Bristol Rovers. Higher or lower than 60%? And I'll go to Ned, first of all.
I'm going to say lower, and I'm going to say 53%.
Okay. Craig.
I'll go lower, 52.
Love it. Ben.
54, any chance?
Lower 43. Me
Lower
lord.
43. Okay. 5 feet.
58.
So then lower, 58%. And Mr. Woods?
51.
Oh, Craig.
51%. Okay, so everybody on this occasion is elected to go lower than Shrewsbury Town's success rate of 60%, and you are all correct to have done so. So 1 point each for that. The actual success rate against Bristol Rovers, and taking the bonus point on this occasion, is Woody, is 50% from 162 games. You've beaten them on 69 occasions. Congratulations. This is pretty close. I'll do one more round and I'll give a top of the scores. Okay, so from Bristol Rovers at 50%, we move all the way over to Kent and Gillingham. Coming to you, Craig. Our success rate against Gillingham, higher or lower than 50%?
I will go lower, 48%.
Okay, 5 feet.
I want to say higher, but I don't think it is. What was the last one? 50?
50%, yeah. Bristol Rovers is 50.
49.
Okay. Lower at 49%. Ben?
Lower 42.
40%. Okay. Woody?
This one's 43, Mark.
Okay. And finally, Ned.
I'll take a vowel, please.
Lower 41%.
41%. Okay. So interestingly, you've all elected to go lower on this occasion. And unfortunately, you're all incorrect to have gone low. We have a higher success rate against Gillingham at 51%. That means that
We smashed the Vikings.
it's got the bonus point. Well done.
Get in. I'm still in the game.
Still in the game, absolutely.
Massive.
Right, the current total of the scores halfway through?
I've got to be bottom.
Ben's winning. Fuck all.
Okay.
Just while Mark does count it up, for those who were at the pod night out, I'm still singing "She Found Love at the County Ground," and I even got 2 people at work singing it earlier today.
County Ground.
That was a good night
Are
out.
you wearing Amber Rose's bib tonight?
Maybe.
So, at the halfway stage, propping up the table, our friends Ben and Ned with 6 points.
Yes, Ned, we are safe.
In third position currently with 6.5 points is Fifey. In second position with 7.5 points is Woody. And our current leader with the tabletop in 9 is Craig.
Oh, it's close. It's close.
It's very, very close.
Still
All
all
right, man,
tight.
we'll be all right, mate. We're all right down there.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so into the second half now. It gets a little bit more interesting, I promise you. So we move from Gillingham at 51% to Newport County over the Severn Bridge. I'm going to come to Ben first of all.
What was
So
say?
Gillingham are
61%.
51% Gillingham were. Yeah, Newport County, higher or lower?
I think we beat Newport quite regularly. 61.
You're going higher at 61%. Ned.
What was the other marker? Sorry,
Gillingham was 51%.
51. I'm going to say lower, 48%.
That's what I wanted.
Okay, well, can we see next then, Fifey?
Well, I wanted 48, so I better go 49, I suppose.
All right.
So going lower at 49.
Yes, house.
Okay. Woody?
He's the shit house. He took my prediction.
Which team was it? Which team was it again? Sorry?
Newport County.
47.
Oh,
You're going lower at 47.
Ned's just like,
And Ned, over to you.
Ned's been, hasn't he?
I 48%.
Oh, sorry, Craig, my bad.
Yeah.
They are very similar people.
Sorry.
I'll go higher, 52.
Higher, 52%. Okay. So Ben and Craig, you've both gone higher. And on this occasion, you were both correct to do so. Newport County, we've beaten 57% of the time. So from 100 matches, it was like 57 games, oddly enough.
Yeah, genius.
Genius, yeah. Didn't work that one out. Looking like, hang on a minute.
You made that a lot harder than it needed to be there, Mark.
Yeah, you're quite right. I did. So let's have a look. So the closest one to that is going to be Ben. Ben gets the bonus point.
Ben's back in the
Congratulations,
game.
BTB.
BTB.
I'm going to finish last, you know.
Going to finish last.
Okay.
Okay, well, moving from Newport County, we move more inland and to our biggest rivals in Oxford United.
Yeah.
Newport County at 57%. Is our win rate against Oxford United higher or lower? I'm going to come to you, Fifey.
Well, infamously, they won about 870 in a row, didn't they? Because no other games counted that Swindon actually won in the meantime.
Yeah, it depends if they're counting our wins. Because Oxford don't like to count our wins.
No,
do they?
no. What was the previous percentage? Sorry, Mark.
Newport County with 57% success
See, I
rate.
think it's going to be lower. It's going to be somewhere around 50. We have to be better than them, though. 52.
52%. Okay. It's a solid answer. Ben.
I believe we've won 8 more games than Oxford.
What's that as a percentage, though, Ben?
Yeah, I know we've won 8 more games than Oxford, but we've also drawn quite a lot as well. So I am saying
We've also lost some games, Ben.
Yeah, we did. We lost 6 in a row before we drew, but beat them on penalties, didn't we? Because we're massive, I want to say 90%. I'm going to say
We're massive. I want to say 90%.
That's the most Tim Pot thing you've ever said, Ben. 46% victories for Swindon
How
Town.
come you gone from 90 to 46?
No, actually, it's 47.
You're going lower and you're going to 47%. Okay. Woody.
Is this league games or overall?
Overall.
Oh,
Competitive fixtures.
I think I might have known it if it was league games.
Obviously.
Because I think it's come up before. So I'm going to go 58%.
You're going higher
I think that's high.
58%. Great.
Yeah, I think even though they've beaten us a lot more in recent times, our overall win percentage is higher than theirs against us because we beat them a lot early on in the rivalry. So I'm going to go 48%.
Was that even before you were a wee lad, Craig?
Even before I was a wee lad, yeah. Bristol City used to be and Reading were more rivals. Yeah.
1960s, they were quoted it. You imagine if Accrington Stanley hadn't have gone bust, then we wouldn't have Oxford. What a wonderful place it would be.
Oh, no, I can't have that bet. I'd rather play Oxford every season. I love the rivalry.
Yeah,
Accrington Stanley, who are they?
Yeah,
exactly.
And it's a pretty big city not to have a football team, to be fair to them.
They're too interested in row their boats, aren't they?
And then last but not least, and he's currently on mute, Ned.
Has Ned not predicted yet? And we're all just taking the piss.
That's fine.
Sorry, Ned.
That's all right.
Give him time to Google the answer.
I'm going to say 56%.
You're going lower?
Yeah.
56%.
Can't even remember what I've predicted now.
Interesting mix. So Newport County, we had a 57% success rate against.
It'll be the same.
And Woody went higher at 58%.
Well
I
done,
was
Woody.
incorrect to have done so.
I like you, Woody.
The actual answer, and you're all getting a point for going lower, the remainder of you. But one of you has actually got the percentage bang on the money.
I think I said 51.
The correct answer is 56%.
Oh!
Congratulations, Ned.
Well done, Ned.
Yay.
That's just 50 points for Ned.
Just for any Oxford United fans that are watching our pod, we're still fucking massive.
And to be perfectly honest, Fifey should have got that being an Oxford fan.
yes.
Yeah, true, actually.
A bit disappointed in you, Fife.
Oxford United are the only team in the Football League that can do ground improvements with a tin of Ronsil.
Hashtag true story, though.
Mm.
Hashtag true story.
And we all pissed up the wall.
Moving swiftly along before it gets a little bit rowdy.
STFC on your pitch, on your pitch.
Can we just sing Oxford songs for the next hour?
We'll save that for another episode, I think.
Full Tosh karaoke.
Oh, yeah. That sounds like a night out Starbucks. Right, so
Fools Rush
Craig.
Sing.
Ah, nice.
I like
Sorry,
that.
Mark. This is descending
No, that's
into
all right,
chaos.
Mark.
Sorry,
You
Mark.
mentioned the O word.
Yeah, I did mention the O word. I thought it might bring up some stir up some feelings and some emotions, which is good. So Oxford United at 56%.
Craig doesn't need any more feelings. He's got the Fool's Island picture behind him. There's plenty being stirred up there.
You just kissed your boob.
Oh, yeah, as I noticed, it was my picture.
I've been practicing.
Okay, Aldershot Town.
Aldershot.
So Oxford United at 56% success ratio. We move to Aldershot Town. I'm going to come to you first of all, Ned. Higher or lower?
I'm going to say lower, and I'm going to say 45%.
45%. Okay. BTB.
Right, we used to play Aldershot quite a bit back in the day, didn't we? There's quite a bit of rivalry with them. I would say 48.
So you're going lower at 48%. 5 feet.
I'm just going to go a bit rogue on this one because I don't really remember it during my time at all. So I know you've said that the highest percentage is in there somewhere, and we haven't had a spectacularly high one yet. So I'm just going to go random and go 78%.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Fife.
78%.
Ooh.
Loving the proper shit hours, and that's like a massive difference. Craig.
Yeah,
So Oxford at 56%. Where are Aldershot? Are we higher or lower?
Yeah, so just a random fact. The old Shrivenham Road stand used to belong to Aldershot. They dismantled it, and we ended up using it to build the Shrivenham Road stand. But Yeah, I can't remember playing them too often, but I'm going to go. I think we used to beat them back a lot back in the day, so I'm going to go 58%.
So you're going higher at 58%.
Yep, going higher.
And
Mystic Wood.
Mystic Wood.
We spanked them nearly every time we played them. So
Oh, so you think I might be in with a shout?
I think he might be in. I'm going to go with 69%. I think. Didn't we, in one of our records against him in the FA Cup, didn't we beat him 7-0 in the FA Cup in like 85 or something?
It did. And
See?
you were right to have gone higher. So Fifey, Craig and Woody, there are points coming your way. So Oxford United at 56%. Now, I was kind of quite excited by Fifey's guess at 78%. But Woody has been the ultimate shithouse in this round. Our success rate against Aldershot Town is 70%. So the 69% is the closest.
Where you got Google? Where you got Google? Before we move on, actually,
I haven't. I've got
interesting
family in
fact-
Aldershot.
I've got an interesting fact about Aldershot. Actually, if you dig up the old Shivy Road stand, got all the components bit together and built it back up into Aldershot Stadium, it would actually improve the stadium.
Jesus Christ.
Fucking what has Sarah been feeding you tonight?
Yeah.
Fucking bitch flakes for breakfast.
Yeah,
It's obviously bringing up some dark memories, man. You know?
That yellow drink you've been having all night, just straight bitter lemon. My God.
Oh dear. Right. So from Aldershot Town and our record win percentage of 70%.
So was I right that that's the record one?
It was the record one, yeah.
Woody.
Absolutely.
Woody. Good.
Okay. We move to Torquay United. So Aldershot 70% to Torquay United. Now, I'm hoping that you've been listening and paying attention and none of you elect to go higher. So I will start with Ben.
Yeah,
Can
do
I
you know
go
what? If you
first?
hadn't have said
'Cause
that,
I don't want to
Ben,
win.
he absolutely would have gone higher.
Right, Torquay United. Do you know, I've seen us lose at Torquay. I'm going to say obviously lower.
Helen Chamberlain, that.
Hell's bells. Lower, but I think our record is pretty good against them. Weren't they the team that there was quite a famous little clip of their fans going, yay, celebrating us because they scored a penalty against us. It's on YouTube. And then whilst they're celebrating, we go and equalise.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
there's a famous.
And they got relegated, didn't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's quite funny. But yeah, I digress. It's higher, and I'm going for
Lower.
61.
Lower.
Lower, you mean?
Lower,
Carry on.
lower 61. Lower 61. Lower 61.
Lower. You sure you want to go lower?
Lower 61. 100%. I'm going to go back to drinking my
100%. That's higher.
Yeah.
61%. Sorry, Ned.
Well, lower and 50%.
50%. Woody.
Lower, 31.
Woody.
31.
No, I just want
Yeah,
to
he's trying to lose, isn't he? You're going to have to change defend the indefensible to the two losers, I think, in future. There's some proper shithousery going on here where they don't want to do it.
That isn't a bad shout, Craig. I could still
Winner
bring that
versus
rule in.
loser.
Yeah. You're the quiz master, mate. You do.
Hang on.
the best.
That changes the game.
Hang on, I'm last, didn't I?
Wait a minute, everybody's start listening now. Okay, Craig. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry, mate. Yeah, I'll go lower, 54%.
Lower 54%. Okay, and last but by no means least, Stephen.
Stephen, Sunday names.
No, someone's in trouble.
Do you know what? I think our very own Mr. Davies has gone a bit shithouse on us here, and I think he's put the record low percentage right after the record high percentage just to exaggerate it that bit further. So I'm gonna say Woody hasn't gone far enough and go 24%.
24%.
Oh.
Can't see it. Not against Torquay.
Torquay United.
Go on, Mark. Now
Okay,
say
so-
one of you have got it exactly bang on, and the bonus points going to 5
Unless we've like
Well,
drawn shitloads against
oddly
them.
enough, part of that statement is correct, in as much as somebody has got the correct answer.
Oh, it's not me then.
Okay. Well, first of all, you were all correct to go lower
Yes.
because you were paying attention.
Well,
and the
4 of us
bonus-
were. One of us got lucky.
The correct answer and the bonus point is going to Craig at 54%. Well done, Craig.
Oh, well done, Craig.
Well done,
mate.
Craig.
Well
Yeah,
done,
you
Craig.
sound really disappointed there, Woody.
Bet you're glad you started this now, aren't you, Craig?
Yeah.
Top of the league.
From Torquay at 54%, we move back over our borders into Wales again in Cardiff City. We come to you, Fifey, first of all. Higher or lower than 54%?
Lower. 41.
Okay. BTB.
Oh, I think that's too high, actually.
Lower. 38.
Ned.
Lower for sure, because again that's Cardiff's another one. Even when they were shit, they still used to beat us all the time. I'm gonna say 41%.
1%. Just gone for the same answer as Fifey.
Oh, I'll go with 40 then.
40. Oh, okay. Craig.
Lower 35.
35. And Woody.
What was the last one?
35.
Torquay. The last one was Torquay. They were
No.
54%. Craig's guess was 35%.
I thought it was the last one. So when the guess was.
Yeah, Woody's got the memory of a goldfish.
Yeah. And that's right, Dave. Lower. $33. 33% lower.
It's got the memory of a goldfish and the light in the room of a mole.
I know, I can't bother turning the light on. Alexa, turn the light on.
Living room isn't
So
responding.
all
My
of
living
you,
room isn't responding.
all of you elected to go lower, and you were all correct to do so.
Fucking living room.
By virtue of having the closest answer, the bonus point is going to Fifey.
Oh,
The correct answer was 49%.
49.
49%.
Wow.
Okay.
Ned looks gutted.
Moving on from Cardiff City, we move to London and Crystal Palace. I'm going to come to you first, Ben. Higher or lower than 49%?
I actually remember beating Palace. Sure we have.
My first ever FA Cup game was away at Palace.
I remember that. We lost 2-1. Joe Eiffel scored header.
Thanks, Ben.
Sarah's looking at me like some weirdo now.
That's a noise he made as well.
It's the sound he made off his head. In the corner. Joe
Oh,
Eiffel.
Holly, your head.
Joe Eiffel
No.
boost. Joe Eiffel boost. Yes, it is. 26%.
26%. Ned.
What was the last percentage? Sorry, 49.
So Cardiff were 49% success
Yeah.
rate.
Right, so lower 44%.
44%. Woody.
I don't remember us ever beating them. So let's go lower. 24%.
Okay. Fifey.
27%.
Oh, my thing, you bitch. I've got 24. I've got to get it bang on now.
And Craig.
What did Ben guess again?
26.
Ben guessed 26%.
Woody's gone 24, so 25's available, Craig.
No, I'll go 27.
You're going the same as me.
Same as
Oh,
Fifey.
sorry.
Same as
All right,
Fifey.
I'll go 28 then.
Bastard.
Okay, so everybody has gone lower. And you were all, again, correct to go lower. However, Ned is picking up the bonus point on this occasion. Our success rate. he wasn't too far out of getting it bang on as well. The correct answer
really?
was 46%, and you
46?
elected for 44.
46?
Everyone else is too busy. Yeah, everyone else is too busy trying to shit house each other. Yeah,
I don't
46%.
ever remember us beating Palace.
We have been around for quite a long time, though.
We are more massive than I knew.
Well, Crystal Palace used to be shit.
Yeah. I'll
They've
take
always
that
been
one.
pretty good. As long as I know, they've always been up there.
Okay, we're moving into we've got two more rounds to go. Two more
Oh,
rounds to go.
are the scores close with 2 rounds to go?
If we have a quick chat, I'll quickly top them up again and let you know.
They were Crystal Caravan, now they're Crystal Palace.
Is that where the Sheikhs took over?
Nice.
Well,
Good for the radio.
everyone who is a fan of Fools Rush In will be pleased to know after the raging success that was our Christmas night out and our pre-post-season night out, we will be planning another one, probably around Christmas time again.
Yes.
Come join us.
Yes. We're more than welcome.
The more the merrier. It will generally end up being lots of drinking, dancing, and singing very badly but very loud.
Yes.
Okay.
And sleeping, if you're Ned. And
Yeah, and
sleeping.
Ned might turn up at some point.
I'll try
And
not to.
kebabs.
Oh yeah, that goes without saying.
Now it is fairly close on the scores. So propping up the table are Ben and Ned with 12 points currently.
Get in.
It's close.
Get in.
That bonus
Okay.
point, Ned.
In third place with 12.5 points is Woody.
Oh, oh no.
In second spot currently is Mr. Fife with 13.5 points. And our current runaway leader is Craig with 16 points.
Craig.
Craig, you'll be doing it.
Yeah.
Just the 2 more rounds to go. So we had Crystal Palace at 46%, and we're now moving to the coast and Brighton and Hove Albion. And I come to you first of all, Ned. How
Okay.
lower than 46%?
46. Well, Brighton were awful before. So I'm going to say higher and 51%.
Okay. 5 feet.
Am I allowed to ask who the next team is before I make my prediction?
Well,
No.
the final answer.
No.
No.
Just because I'm wondering if we've actually had that lowest one yet. We haven't had anything really low. And could Brighton be a shock team that we're just fucking awful against?
Or I may also have lied about the lowest one being included.
No, you wouldn't have done that.
Always forgot.
What was the
Well, I might have
percentage? Sorry?
So Crystal Palace are 46%. Higher or lower for Brighton?
Fuck it, let's go low. 27 again.
Okay. Ben.
Brighton, Hove Albion. I'm going for 54.
Higher at 54%. Okay. Craig.
I'll go higher, 48.
Higher at 48%. And Woody.
Higher. 49.
Higher at 49%.
I've gone a bit rogue here, haven't I?
Okay. So, Fife, you were the only one to have gone lower. And you were wrong to have done so.
Okay, fair enough.
What I will say for the guys that have gone higher, one of you again has got the answer 100%
Well
correct.
done, Woody.
Oh.
Well done, Woody.
Well done, Woody, indeed. 49%.
That means Woody's leapfrogged me. He's a point ahead again.
He has,
Yay,
he
well
has
done,
been-
Woody. Well done, Woody.
Well done, Woodrow.
Now,
Oh, there's going to be some shithousing going on with this round.
0%.
there was a-
We never beaten them.
So we stay on the coast and we move further west from Brighton to the city of Southampton.
Ooh.
Is our ratio against Southampton higher or lower than Brighton's 49%? Craig?
I'm going to go lower, 35%.
35. Woody?
Lower. 36.
Ned?
I'm gonna
Fucking leave
say
me till last, didn't he?
I'm gonna say lower. What did you say, Woody?
86.
86.
Yeah, 86.
He said 36, Ned.
36. What did Craig say?
35.
I'll go 38.
38%. 5 feet.
32.
Oh, it's so close.
And Ben?
39.
You're going to go 39%.
There's not a lot in that.
It's not.
Please say higher. Please say higher.
First of all, you've all elected to go lower, and you were correct to do so.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh, no.
One of you again, got the correct answer.
Oh, no.
Woody.
Well done, Woody.
Well done, Woody.
It's not Mr. Wood.
Oh.
5 feet.
5 feet. 5 feet.
It's not Mr. Five.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Fuck's sake.
Well done, Ben. Bang on the money.
BTB.
39%.
Well done, Ben. Your prize.
Yeah.
Just gonna be
Your prize is to
final
guarantee
scores.
that it's Craig versus Woody.
Hey,
I've not finished last, so I'm happy.
Oh, that means I finished last, doesn't it?
Yeah, oh, you look really disappointed with that, Ned.
fucking hell.
Yeah, Ned's definitely finished.
I'm not
last.
playing these games anymore.
But next
being
week's
gay.
game promises, if we do the one that I'm thinking of doing next week, it promises to be very good fun for me.
I'm doing game host.
We could do it as a forfeit, can't we?
Yeah,
I'm
I
going to
reckon.
read the results out in reverse order because everyone
Okay,
has
I
their
reckon.
Congrats, Ned.
finishing place. In 5th place with 13 points is Ned.
Solid, Ned.
Congratulations, Ned. Well done.
Must
you.
be devastated.
In 4th place with 14.5 points, our very own host,
Oh,
Mr.
fucking hell, I
Fife.
dropped to 4th.
Fucking 5 years shit, man.
In 3rd place and only half a point ahead with
I opened the
15,
door.
BTB.
BTB.
Hey,
BTB.
mid-table, mid-table.
BTB, middle of the table, distinctly average.
Yeah, but I stay out from doing the next thing, so that's all right.
Our runner-up with 15.5 points, Coach Wood.
Oh, Ben, you only missed out by half a point.
I know,
Take
I
that
know.
half
I'm
a
happy
point.
with
I
that.
reckon.
Woody, I
reckon
bet
take
you're
that half
delighted
a
I
point
split
off.
that point now, aren't you?
Yeah, I reckon give that point to 5 feet. I reckon.
Bit late
And then
now.
we have a four-way doing the defending
And give-
indefensible.
Give Craig his moment in the sun here with a stunning 2.5 point lead and an 18-point victory overall. Congratulations. Well done, Craig.
Cheers,
Bye,
guys.
Craig.
Thank you.
Well done, Craig.
Well done, Craig.
So,
That
Well
tan
done,
is
Craig.
full of knowledge.
Man with the challenge. Still
however,
Brown-esque.
Oh,
however, between Craig and Woody, so he may have an 18-point victory in the quiz, but will he have a victory in the defending indefensible? It's going to be Woody versus Craig. Now, Craig, as you won the quiz, I'm going to give you the opportunity to elect whether you go first or second.
Yeah, I forgot to do this last week because that's what they do on Fighting Talk, isn't it? Yeah, I'll let Woody go first.
You're going to let Woody go first.
Woody, you going to put the
Okay.
light on for this?
No.
But we've done slagging off girls' football, so I wonder what it's this week.
I got a feeling unawares.
You've got a feeling you know what it is. No. I'm not going to be too cruel, but cruel enough. So Woody, okay, you have to defend the following statement. The county ground is not fit to be the home of professional football, and the club should relocate to Salisbury, the true centre of Wiltshire's football.
Look at his face.
You know.
Stunned into
Well,
silence.
well, capital Wiltshire, lads. So, you know, it just makes sense. It's in the middle, right in the middle for all of us to see. A beautiful ground. You know, you've kind of got the one side that's seated, one side terraces either side. It's way more purpose. It is as good as the Kasan, if you ask me. So that's why we should be playing there. Steve Claridge has gone in and rocked it really, really well. The county ground's just rotting away. It's full of shit. It's next to a crap roundabout. The cricket team are more famous than the football team. If it wasn't for Foundation Park, they probably would have converted it into council housing by now. So you might let's just all go play in Salisbury and sing along to Salisbury City FC and reignite football into one proud city that is Salisbury.
Well done, Woody. Well done.
That was superb.
Craig,
Well done, Woody.
Craig, a lot to live up to. Are you ready?
Yeah.
You got to defend the following statement. Jerome Sinclair is a modern-day Alan Shearer and should be shown the respect he commands.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, Alan Shearer, what did he ever do for England or Newcastle or Blackburn Rovers? Jerome Sinclair, as we know from our very own Ned, is one of the most promising prospects in the country. I think he's better than Scott Twine, to be honest with you. Why did Burnley buy him? You know, they should have brought Jerome Sinclair. Come on, what are they bloody doing? Vincent Kompany. If I was Vincent Kompany, I would be absolutely fuming that Scott Twine has been signed and not Jerome Sinclair. So yeah, it is a travesty of justice. You know, it is absolutely unbelievable. And if I was Jerome Sinclair, I'd be absolutely raging.
Well, I thought that was quite straightforward.
Passionate.
I think that's unfair because Craig was speaking nothing but truth. So, it's unfair, really.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one to decide on who the winner should be because there was a bit of a pause, and I was a little bit worried that Woody may not have actually got started with the defending. Then I think might have been punished on another day for the long hesitation. But once you got there, it all started to come out, and obviously Steve Claridge and Salisbury and the Whites. I'm almost compelled to pen an email to Clem based on the back of that actual statement. However, you've got Craig's counter argument about Jerome Sinclair. He does make a very good point. He's very passionate, and he does get very animated when getting his point across. So it's a bit of a coin flip. Which way does it go? Okay, I think I've made my decision, and this week's winner not only of the quiz, but also of defending the indefensible. I'm going to award it to Craig. Congratulations, Craig. Well done.
Cheers, Mark.
Well done,
cheers, guys.
Thank you very much.
Mark, thank you.
I thought you were going to say it's a dead heat, so they need to do another one.
I would say that.
I'll write that down for next time.
Yeah.
Disclaimer, but I actually really like Salisbury.
I'm going to be Jerome Sinclair's agent now. So yeah.
It has to be said, Mark, thank you very much for this week's quiz.
Well done, mate.
Very well
Mark.
put together.
Brilliant.
And very enjoyable.
Yeah,
and very interesting to hear what some of those percentages are. We have some good percentages against some.
Yeah, we're a lot better than I thought we were.
Yeah.
A lot better than I thought we were. Massive.
I genuinely did forget to include the I'll tell a lie. Originally, I did 20 answers, and then I realised going back to the other pods that we averaged about 16 that we managed to get through before everyone said we've had enough now. And I actually took out the lowest percentage, and I can't remember who it is now. So that's a quiz question for another day.
Listen, gents, as always, it's been an absolute pleasure having you with us. Thank you very much if you've watched this, if you've listened to the audio version. Thank you as always for contributions, questions, comments, liking, retweeting, sharing any other social media type post that you do for Fools Rush In. We really do appreciate it. And of course, the invite's always there. If you'd like to get involved sometime, just send us a message. We've had debuts in recent times. I mean, Mark's become a regular panelist now. We had Oakus Road make his debut last time. We're clearly not adverse to having new blood on board as we continue to grow Fools Rush In. And we have news of an exciting new signing to come in just a few short weeks. But until then, from me and from the rest of the panel, until next time, goodbye.